Good morning. Today, we will present about our last experiment, which is determination of protein content. This is the list of contents that we will talk about. The first one, we will talk about the objective, and then the theory of the experiment, materials and equipments, methods, calculation, discussion, and then conclusion.
The objective of the experiment is to study the quantitative protein analysis method using the Lowry method. Theory of the experiment. The first is amino acid. Amino acids are organic compounds that combine to form proteins. Amino acids themselves consist of nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and other elements. Amino acids are divided into two, that is, essential amino acid and non-essential amino acid. Essential amino acids are amino acids that are synthesized by the body, and non-essential amino acids are amino acids not synthesized by the body. Amino acid containing an amino group NH2 in addition to a carboxyl group COOH. The carboxyl group gives it acidic properties, and the amino group gives it alkaline properties. Amino acid capable of becoming sweeter ions. Sweeter ion is an ion that has an opposite charge, has a dipole moment, as well as an acidic and basic groups. This is the structure of amino acid. As we know, COO- is a carboxyl group and NH3 plus is an amino group. The symbol R always denotes bonded hydrogen or a side chain of hydrocarbons of any length, but can sometimes refer to groups of atoms. The next is Lowry method. Lowry's method is a quantitative protein test with a visible spectrophotometer. The working principle of the Lowry method is combining biuret region with another region is choline thiochateopenol, which reacts with tyrosine and tryptophan residues in protein. This reaction will give an alkaline atmosphere a blue color with that intensity depending on the concentration of protein being measured. Bluish color can be read using a spectrophotometer with a wavelength between 500 until 750 nanometer. Depending on the sensitivity required, around a wavelength of 500 nanometer, there will appear a small peak which can be used to determine the protein with high concentration, and a large peak around 750 nanometer which can be used to determine the protein content with a low concentration.
Of course, here we have the main component of our experiment with our protein. Protein are made up of a smaller molecule called amino acids. Amino acids inside protein are linked together in a long chain by a peptide bond. Linear chains of amino acids are commonly called polypeptides. Only polypeptides containing more than 50 amino acids are considered protein, while less than 50 are commonly called peptides. Next, we have the main functions of protein, which are 1. Catalyst to metabolic reactions, functioning as enzyme. 2 is to replicate DNA. 3 respond to stimuli. 4 provide structure to cells and organisms, and 5 to act as a transport molecule. And then here we have the 3 main steps or principles of calculation of protein using the Lowry method. First, the Lowry reagent reacts with the amino acids inside protein and create a blue color. Then we could find its absorbance using a spectrophotometer and correlate the absorbance to the concentration and calculate the protein content. And here we have the visible spectrophotometry, with the main principle of it being molecules containing bonding and non-bonding electrons can absorb energy in the form of ultraviolet or visible light electromagnetic radiation. Electrons absorbing the energy will undergo electron excitation, and since some of the energy has been absorbed, the intensity of the electromagnetic radiation will go down, and we could calculate the absorbance value relative to the black solution. The complex of copper ion with amino acids will produce a new molecule called heteropolymolybdenum blue with a vibrant blue color. The sample is then put inside a spectrophotometer and shot with a visible light radiation with a wavelength of 600 nanometers. We could use a calibration curve made with a known concentration of bovine serum albumin or BSA to measure accurately the concentration of protein. And lastly, we have the Beer-Lambert law that states that the absorbance and concentration is linearly correlated. Therefore, the calibration curve will be a linear line with the formula A equals epsilon times B times C, with A is absorbance value, epsilon is molecule constant, B is path length of the electromagnetic radiation, and C is concentration.
I will mention some materials and equipments that we will use in this experiment. The materials are food samples to determine the protein content, sodium chloride 10%, bovine serum albumin, and choline thiochateopenol. The equipments that we will use are cuvette, centrifuge, test tube, Pasteur pipette, measuring pipette 1 and 5 milliliters, and glass stirrer. Next one, I will explain to you how we do this experiment. There are two reagents that we will make in this experiment. The first one is reagent Lowry A, which contains of reagent choline thiochateopenol CO2 and water, and Regenlory B, which contain of copper sulfate, sodium potassium tartrate, sodium carbonate, and sodium hydroxide. So the next step is we will isolate the protein from the sample. So we weigh 10 grams of the sample, which is milk powder, and then we mash the sample until it crushed evenly. We add 50 milliliters of natrium chloride 10%, and then we mix them evenly, and then we centrifuge them in 2000 to 3000 RPM for 15 minutes. After that, we take the supernatant, we boil them for 15 minutes, we cool them off, and then we centrifuge them in 2000 RPM for another 10 minutes. Last step, we put 50 milliliters of natrium chloride 10% into the supernatant that has been centrifuged. So the next step is we prepare the standard curve of protein solution. So we prepare bovine serum albumin 300 mg per milliliters, and then we prepare 10 reaction tube filled with bovine serum albumin with different level of dilution. So we will add different amounts of bovine serum albumin and water in each tubes. Next one, we will add 4 milliliters of Regenlory B to all the tubes. We let it set for 10 minutes. And then we add 0.5 milliliters of Regenlory A to all the tubes. We shake them and we let it set for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, we read the optical density with spectrophotometer in 600 nanometer wavelength. Finally, we can make the protein standard curve that shows relationship between concentration and absorbance. So the last step is sample preparation. In this step, the first one, we will precipitate the dissolved protein sample by adding 4 to 5 grams of ammonium sulfate crystals per 10 milliliter of solution. And then we centrifuge them for 10 minutes in 11,000 RPM. And then we dissolve the precipitated protein in a 10 milliliters of acetate buffer, and we take 1 milliliters of the sample protein, and we go back to step C 3 to 5. Step C 3 to 5 are adding Regenlory B and then Regenlory A, and then reading the absorbance in spectrophotometer. And then we read the protein content of the OD obtained from the sample solution using a standard curve, and then we calculate the dilution of the sample, and we calculate the protein content in the sample. That is how we do our experiment.
Okay, so next I will talk about the calculation method. Here we written down the known data variables from the experiment. The data is divided to two parts. The first part is the environment data, range from humidity to the water temperature. The other part is the experiment data. We wrote down the product name, the initial sample mass, the sample absorbance value, and the dilution factor that used on the experiment. We also wrote down the standard curve table. So it has three columns: the standard, the concentration in ppm, and the absorbance based on the concentration that we written. After that, we can start the calculation. First of all, we have to find the standard curve formula by using the provided standard curve table. For the manual method, we can calculate the value of A and B by this equation. The variables like n, the summary of x, n, y, n, h can be found within the table. So it's like this. We found the xn, yn, and the rest of the variable can be found here. The number of data is 9, so n equals 9. Next, we calculate the A and B value, and then we insert the value of the A and B to the standard curve formula. So it's like this formula. Therefore, you can use other application like Excel to draw a calibration chart from the standard curve table. So if we use Excel, the calibration curve looks like this. The direct line of the graph is based on the formula that we calculated earlier. The next step is to find the sample's concentration value. To find it, you have to substitute the absorbance value of the sample from the data to the standard curve equation to find x. So the x looks like this. Then we have to find the sample's actual concentration value by multiplying the concentration value according to the dilution factor used. Then it will be multiplied again by the volume of the sample inserted on the test tube to find the sample's protein mass. So we found out that the mass is 3.676953 multiplied by 10 with the power of -2 grams. And then final is to calculate the percentage rate of the sample's protein. We found out that the sample's protein is 3.6747%. Therefore, we can find the theoretical percentage rate of the sample's protein by dividing the protein of the sample by its serving size. Then we can compare it with the experiment's protein rate to find the experimental errors. So we found out that the experiment's errors is 91.807%.
Discussion. This practicum will determine the protein content in a sample. The method used to measure protein content is the Lowry method. The Lowry method is one of the quantitative analysis methods on protein, and basic principle of the Lowry method is reduction cupric ion to cuprous ion, and cuprous ion will react with polyGHL. So the first step in this practicum is to make a reagent first. Reagent used in the experiment is Lowry A reagent and Lowry B reagent. The content of Lowry A reagent is polyGHL reagent and water. The function of the Lowry A reagent is reduction cuprous ion react with polyGHL and will produce molybdenum blue. Number 2 is Lowry B reagent. The content of Lowry B reagent is 50 ml mixed solution of natrium carbonate and sodium hydroxide and 1 ml mixed solution of copper sulfate pentahydrate and sodium potassium tartrate. The function of the Lowry B reagent is for the formation process of cupric ion complex with peptide bonds and reduction cupric ion to cuprous ion in alkaline condition. The next step is isolate the protein in sample. So number 1 is sample will be weighed as much as 1.0006 grams and sample will be ground until smooth with a mortar. Then sample powder will be dissolved with 50 ml of 10% natrium chloride solution. Why natrium chloride solution? Natrium chloride solution is used because it can bind to proteins which have sweeter ion properties. As a result, the protein will dissolve properly in solution. The next step is centrifuge the solution for 15 minutes
at a speed of 2000 to 3000 rpm
to produce supernatant. And supernatant produced is boiled with boiling water for 15 minutes to increase the rate of reaction of dissolving proteins in solution. Next, boiled supernatant will be cooled and centrifuged again
at 2000 rpm for 10 minutes.
And then supernatant will be taken back and mixed with 10% natrium chloride and fill the solution volume up to 50 ml.
The next step is protein standard curve forming. So the solution we use to form a protein standard curve is bovine serum albumin with 9 different known concentration, from 30 to 300 micrograms per milliliters with an interval of 30 micrograms per milliliters. Each solution is added with 4 milliliters of Lowry B reagent to let the cupric ion to form a peptide complex with the peptide bonds in protein, and it will be reduced into a cuprous ion in alkaline condition. And we add it with 0.5 milliliters of Lowry A reagent so that the Volin-Chiochial will be reduced by the cuprous ion to form a molybdenum blue which has a specific blue color. All of the solution's absorbance are measured with a spectrophotometer at 600 nanometers wavelength, because at 600 nanometers wavelength, the molybdenum's blue absorbance is at its maximum value. Next, we will obtain this protein standard curve with regression equation of y equals to 0.000685 minus 0.0159387 and r square of the curve is 0.6715. Determination of protein level in sample. Isolated protein from the previous step is added with concentrated ammonium sulfate for a salting out process. So the ammonium sulfate here will absorb the solvent and the protein will react with each other to form a protein sediment. The solution is centrifuged with 11,000 rpm speed for 10 minutes, and the result will be a sediment and a supernatant. The supernatant here contains the protein we need, so the supernatant is taken and added with 10 milliliters of buffer solution pH 5 to maintain the pH of the solution. Why it must be maintained? Because if the pH is not stable, the protein might run into denaturation. Solution is added with 4 milliliters of Lowry B reagent and 0.5 milliliters of Lowry A reagent. Then the solution's absorbance is measured with a spectrophotometer at 600 nanometers wavelength. The sample's absorbance we obtain from the spectrophotometer is 0.152, and from the calculation we obtain the protein concentration of the sample is 245.1302 ppm. So the protein content in the sample is 3.6747%. The experimental error of this experiment is 91.807%. This is very big because the R square of the protein standard curve is far from 1, which is only 0.6715. So from the Y value here, we can really obtain the X value here accurately.
Lastly, I want to talk about the conclusion. We conclude that the determination of protein content by the Lowry method is a quantitative analysis method used to determine the protein content of the sample using the reduction Cu plus metal principle and analysis using visible spectrophotometer. The protein content in the sample at the end of the experiment was 3.6747%, and according to literature, the protein content in the powdered milk sample was 41.6667%. So the experimental error was 91.807%. I think that's all that we can say. Thank you for your attention.